Greetings technicians, this is the Admin Crow here, your coach of the Toronto Star Raptors, bringing you the battle for Season 2, Week 1 of the PCL, the Pokemon Champions League, versus Lachshire, Luxray, coached by Facidia. So in this video, I'm just going to be going over the battle and my game plan going in, and just talk about my turn-to-turn based thought process, so on and so forth. So let's just get started, shall we? So looking at the team preview alone, I realized that there's no Rhyperior and there's no Ribombee, so he doesn't have a way to stop me from rapid spinning or spin blocking or a really, I guess, solid lead outside of Heatran from what I can tell just by looking at the team preview. And Luxray is something I didn't play against in my mocks. However, I'm expecting it to be a Assault Vest, maybe Intimidate set, more like a physically defensive or a offensive variant. So it's either going to be a more physically defensive or a full out offensive set. So over here, I'm just going to straight up lead with my Fortress like my initial game plan. So turn 1, he's just going to hit me up with a Fire Blast, and I live on a Sturdy. So I just go with my initial game plan and straight up go for the Earthquake and knock that thing out in one hit. Hold up, I just narrated that as if it's normal. Let's try that again. Alright, drop the bomb, baby! Okay, anyways, so turn 2, he's gonna bring his Zygarde on a free switch, because I really don't wanna any of my other members to take the potential Bandit Thousand Arrow, so I just stay in and stack my Fortress, because I don't really see an opportunity to get up my rocks against any of his other members. So over here we can see that the Zygarde is actually indeed Life Orb. It's actually not a Bandit set. So that's actually, I'm more happy with that, just because it's gonna be chipping itself down as it's dishing out damage at the same time. So over here, I think I went into my Lopunny on a free switching after my Fortress went down. So I scared him out with a Fake Out, which I do go for right here, half expecting the Vileplume to come in. I'm okay with getting status, as I mentioned in my team builder, I am packing the Facade. So over here, I'm just gonna get hard switch into my Victini, try to scare it out. He did catch me off guard here with a Sleep Powder, which is something I didn't expect or I didn't see in my mocks. So over here I just stayed and tried to burn one turn of sleep. It actually become really crucial later on. So right here I made a sort of a questionable play, but looking back I think it's still my best play overall. I hard switch into my Lopunny because I don't really have a switch in. As I mentioned in my team builder, I am bringing a hyper offensive team this week, barring the Clef. Fauna damage, I actually think it might be Bandit because I have HP investment. So right now at this point I have no idea to find out. I didn't do calcs or anything. So over here I believe I instead of going to the high jump kick, I predicted the Vileplume to come in and go for the Ice Punch. The damage here I don't think it ended up mattering, as you guys can see a little bit later on. Over here, I do go into my Victini to take the potential Sludge Bomb, which he does go for right here. Because I burned my initial turn on sleep, so over here I'm actually going to wake up and straight up knock this thing out with a Blue Flare. That's actually really good for my team, because it can pretty much, the Vileplume alone can pretty much manhandle all my physical attackers, and it can deal with both of my special attackers, because they're both fairy types. So that's good for my end on getting the kill. Getting the kill on the Vileplume. Over here, I'm just gonna stay in and go for another Blue Flare, try to get up as much damage as possible on the Luxray. It actually did a lot more than I thought. It is a double down right here because he went for the Wild Charge. I don't know why he made that play actually, now looking back, because he can safely go for any other electric type move and be able to save the Luxray for the long run, I guess, because I don't think, I think my Victini is in a range where any of these offensive moves will knock me out anyways. So on the double down here, I do go back into my Lopunny once again because it has a solid matchup against the 3 remaining members of his team, if it's Zygarde, I can at least go for Fake Out, and if it's Mega Pidgeot, I can just straight up go for either a High Jump Kick or a Ice Punch on that. As he does go into the Vaporeon right here, I went for the Fake Out anyways, half expecting a Protect, which I do scout out and find out right here. So over here, I'm just going to go hard switching to my Azura, as I know that I take any hit from this Vaporeon, there's not much it can do back to me. I am packing the AV. Over here, I do go for the Energy Ball on the following round since I do outspeed him. As you can see that he does go for the Roar right here. That's one thing that I was afraid of. It is something that I saw during my mock against my friend Scarlet Mist. That's why I wanted to scout for it before I go into my Clefable, even though that both of his Fairy Resists are gone on his team. Simply because if I try to set up, he can just roll me out. So I can try to weaken his team as much as possible with my 3 other members, and then just sending Clef in the end where he can't really roll me out, and I can just win the game. I can pretty much just win the game right here if I just stack off all 3 of my other mons, pretty much, because he has no way to deal with the Clef based on the stats that I've seen from him so far, both the Zygarde and the Vaporeon. So over here, because I got dragged out into the Clef, I'm actually going to hard switch out into my Azura once again. So this is also a favorable matchup. As you can see, he does pull a switch out into his Mega Pidgeot. So I was managed to take a Hurricane with my Assault Vest and fire off a Ice Beam. Fortunately, I didn't hit myself in confusion. I actually spent quite a bit of time in that turn just because the fact that he got that confusion. I really don't wanna take any more damage. Just stay in on potential turn where I can't do anything if I hit myself in confusion, because I want to save the Primarina to handle the Vaporeon. So over here, it is a very tough choice to make. I actually stacked my Lopunny over here, as you can see. Because it doesn't really beat the remainder of his team, Zygarde can pick it off with Extreme Speed, and I really don't want to play the 50-50 with Vaporeon. And I know I have the doggo for Mega Pidgeot anyway, so I do go for the safe Excel Rock right here. It is banded, that's why I did 27%. As you can see, he does go into the Vaporeon here, not wanting to lose his Mega Pidgeot. As I go into my Azura once again on the Vaporeon, I can pretty much just click Energy Ball over here just to maybe get a step drop, and it is a winning battle for me simply because I know that there's not much this Vaporeon can do back to me. At this point, I already know the entire stat of this Vaporeon is Protect, Wish, Roar, and Scald. So I know that there's literally nothing he can do against me. The only way for him to come back to this game is go into the Zygarde on a potential Energy Ball and try to either set up or force me into my Clefable, get rid of that, and then win from there. So over here, I actually made a prediction. Instead of going for another Energy Ball, I do predict the Zygarde switching. So I just went for the safe Moonblast, since there's no need to go for Ice Beam, because the Zygarde will pick up the Mega Pidgeot and Oko the Moonblast will pick up the Mega Pidgeot or Oko the Zygarde anyways, and do a sizable chunk if the Vaporeon do so decide to stay in against me. So that was my better play. As you can see over here, I do get a prediction right and just Oko one of the biggest threats to my team with the Zygarde 50. Over here, he does go into my Mega Pidgeot. It's pretty much GG at this point, so I'm just gonna go for another Ice Beam to knock this thing out after taking one Hurricane with my Assault Vest, and just be able to 1v1 this Vaporeon by spamming Energy Ball. Yeah, that's pretty much the end of the match. Over here, I do make a play, I believe. As you can see, he does try to go for the Scald and he get the burn, and he actually tried to Wish Stall me a little bit here with Protect, and I don't know if he went for the Wish or not. Yeah, he actually went for double Protect, but it didn't work. I do get a step drop right here. However, on the following turn, as you can see, I do live on a 2%. So I don't know if he's gonna try to stall again. So I actually made a hard switch into my Gaybulk, my Dusk, Lightning Rock Dusk, just to preserve differential and knock this thing out with a Bandit Excel Rock. So that's gonna be GG to Facidia, and my first week of this league, or I guess a very good way to kick off the season with some heat. Literally heat turn 1. It's literally my first move of the entire league, and I kicked it off with some explosion, for sure, without actually using the move explosion. So yeah, that's gonna be it from me this week. I really like how the battle turned out. I think turn 1 we end up recreating a little bit because Facidia has to go for around 20 minutes. So turn 1 actually happened quite a bit before this battle went down. So we just end up recreating that. I'm really happy it worked out, for sure. I was so excited the moment it worked out. I literally shouted in my own room. I was so hyped that it worked. At that point, I didn't really care about what if I won or lost the game. I'm just so happy that it worked. And if you wonder why it worked, how come a Fortress is being able to OHKO a Heatran from full, you should check out my team builder, which I will leave a link in the description below. So feel free to check that out. So yeah, this is gonna be the battle from this week. So that's gonna be it coming from me this week. Hope you guys enjoyed the match. Admin Crow here, signing off. See you guys in the next one. Goodbye, technicians.